The Olympics have begun. And that is all. That ceremony, opening ceremony, was a fever dream.
I did not watch it. I only have the frame of reference of Nate's description and then the couple pictures I saw on Reddit and then the couple clips on YouTube.
It just confirms a fever dream. It doesn't help explain it.
Yes, which is pretty frightening, actually. To be like, oh, this just looks like an acid trip.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. That's just like, and then you see a single screenshot or whatever, or single picture, and you're like, who designed this? Who said this is a good idea? Let's do this.
The going down the river thing was interesting.
Yes.
I think I liked it better than the stadium walk.
I mean,
something about the stadium walk, while traditional, is boring.
hmm.
So I appreciated something different.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff, though, I don't know.
It just seemed like too much.
Extra, one would say.
Yeah. Like it was just too. It gave me vibes from the little bit I've seen. It gives me vibes of trying too hard.
Okay. Yeah. I see that. But anyway, this is not that.
Exactly. This is the Gamers 2 podcast. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest.
Like unions.
Yeah, we're switching it up this week.
Why lay off when we could unionize?
Take the power back.
No? That's only if they acknowledge you.
It's true. But then you break into the boss's office and you beat him to death.
Is that what a union does?
Actually, when they got started,
that's
kind of what they did.
They all agreed we're going to take it back any way possible. So that brings us to the headline number 1. Hundreds of staff at Fallout and Elder Scrolls developer Bethesda Game Studios have unionized, joining the Communication Workers of America. I believe this is the one that we touched on at the end of last week.
Yeah, a little bit.
The CWA announced the formation of the new union via its website, adding that 241 developers, 241, believe it or not. That's how that number reads.
Wow.
Who'd have thought?
241.
241 developers either signed a union authorization card or used an online portal to indicate they wanted union representation. The CWA's post on X indicates the new union, 1BGS USA, represents a majority of developers across Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, Rockville, and Austin. This is the third ZeniMax-owned studio to unionize with this organization, following Bethesda Game Studios Montreal last month, known as 1BGS Montreal, and ZeniMax Workers. The CWA added that Microsoft, which owns Bethesda parent ZeniMax, has already recognized the union.
And continuing right on, number 2, over 500 World of Warcraft developers have unionized. By forming the World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild under the Communication Workers of America Union, over 500 designers, engineers, producers, artists, quality assurance testers, and more have formed the first wall-to-wall union at Activision Blizzard. It also marks the largest wall-to-wall union at a Microsoft-owned studio and is, quote, further evidence of the growing effect to successfully organize the video game industry, end quote. 60 Blizzard QA workers have also joined the CWA and are similarly recognized as a union by Microsoft.
It is interesting.
It is very interesting
that all of Microsoft is unionizing.
Yes.
Or at least all of like the game side of things.
Yeah.
It's just like, as everybody gets acquired, they're like, we're making a union.
Yeah.
None of this.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, 343.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
I'm like I have no strong feelings one way or the other as far as like how I think this is going to play out or whatever. But I am curious.
Right.
I'm
I'm genuinely not sure.
yes. I'm surprised. I don't want to say surprised. I guess surprised is the right way to say it. I am a little surprised every single time this happens. And it's just like at the last line is always, and Microsoft recognize the union. It's always just like, that doesn't.
When do they say no?
Yeah, like at this point they can't, I feel like.
I mean, they might get sued for saying no, but is there ever a point, you know what I mean? Like there's a
I think
and I don't want to quickly divulge into an Always Sunny skit where we say because of the implications, because that's what this is going to turn into very quick if we're not careful. But my question is, when does somebody that big, meant with such a force, say no? Like if Rockstar devs go to Rockstar and say we've unioned, does Rockstar or 2K at that point, I guess, go, no?
I feel like there'll come a point
It's gotta
where
happen eventually, right?
a studio will want to unionize, a Microsoft-owned studio will want to unionize. And Microsoft
Let's have more
do
fun. It's gonna be an EA one.
Could be an EA one.
Because that I feel like will blow up way worse.
And whoever, the Microsoft, EA, whoever, will do the math and be like, you're not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the Starbucks approach. And we're just going to shut you down. You know? We don't want to deal with you being a union. Like, you don't put out enough good stuff. So we're just going to dissolve you and you don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Or like, okay, you're a union. And as a unified group, you no longer are here.
Yeah. You are now unifiedly unemployed.
Unified. Yeah, so it'll be
I don't know.
interesting in the coming years to see how this continues to play out.
Yeah. Like, I know it's sustainable. Like, I know that Microsoft has enough money to pay people.
Yep.
But I know from like the capitalist, like how business works in reality,
They hate people.
it's not sustainable because they're like, no, that's our money.
That's my money for my 85th houseboat.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get those houseboats.
those are references to things not on the podcast. I still have that entire skit running in the back of my head like a bad episode of Scrubs or something. Number 3, new research has found suspicious trading activity on Steam Marketplace that could suggest it is being used for money laundering. This is according to a recent study in the Forensic Science International Digital Investigation paper. You know, the one you always read.
Yeah, I hit it up every morning.
Did anybody say you're reading the papers anymore?
No.
All right, I'm just curious. The research focused on trades made within Counter-Strike Global Offensive using publicly accessible data to identify the frequency and quantity of trades over a 5-day period in August 2020. Just let's be real clear, this is not the first time that CSGO specifically has had some problems.
Yeah.
By collecting data, including the anonymous IDs of sellers and buyers, the item ID, and the trade's value and timestamp, the study investigated the frequency of trades between individuals and item transactions for signs of money laundering. The research found that a select few traders popped up frequently during this period. For example, the study discovered that the top 10 sellers performed 4.5% of transactions of CSGO trades on the marketplace during this period. Just want to be clear. You think about that. The top 10 during that period only accounted for 4.5% of all transactions on CSGO. The old Counter-Strike.
I don't know. Let's see the problem with this.
95.5% were carried out by a bunch of other people.
That's the thing. It's like there's no frame of reference. Like, how many transactions are we talking about here? Like, if it's like,
even if it's 100, it's insane.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like the proportion will stay the same, but if the number, if it's 5 people doing 100 transactions, then whatever. But if it's like you're 10 people, if it's 10 people doing 100 transactions, whatever. If it's 10 people doing 100,000 transactions, And it's like, that's great. That's weird.
Yeah. Again, as Matt and I always want, context. This study said these individuals appearing that frequently indicated either a manipulation of the marketplace or some other activity that may be occurring with these sellers for them to both buying and selling at such a high frequency. It concluded that by using conventional money laundering signifiers, suspicious activity and behavior can be identified on video game secondary marketplaces, and that as a result of these findings, similar investigations could be made on other platforms. I would also put it to you, Matthew, then this is completely just, farcical entertainment, that doing a lot of transactions at a very small percentage of people compared to the global populace should also be looked at as money laundering, you stock market fucks.
Hey, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about bro.
We only care. We only want to stop the new money.
Yeah, hey, listen, you GameStop freaks.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
We're all about the old money.
The ones that should be gone.
Number 4.
Shoot them to the moon where they want to be.
There you go. Shoot them into the sun. Icarus. Flying too close to the sun. Ubisoft has issued a statement regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows, acknowledging that some, quote, promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community, end quote. A statement reads, quote, for this we sincerely apologize. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch, end quote. It is oh my goodness. What is wrong with my mouth hole? It's not moving correctly. It is unclear what materials Ubisoft is referring to exactly, but it was reported that a petition started in Japan calling for Assassin's Creed Shadows cancellation has garnered over 94,000 signatures. In its statements, Ubisoft mentioned that it strives for authenticity, but reminded players that Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction. It also reads, quote, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters, end quote. The firm also addressed protagonist Yasuki, inspired by a black samurai of the same name from the Sengoku period, saying that his depiction as a samurai is a matter of debate and discussion.
I don't know. It's such a weird. Backpedaling?
Yeah, it is kind of.
When you've put in museum mode in other ones?
Yeah.
And some of the problems in that Japanese culture were the fact that your writing was wrong, which is not like an interpretation thing.
Yeah.
It's you just literally wrote incorrect things. You have incorrect seasons. Like, some of the most glaring and immediate things weren't even the samurai problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, you're showing this scene, but in this moment, this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, which are not like historical things. That's just if you're existing in this part of the world and saying that it's Japan and calling it that, this can't be here.
Yeah.
So it seems like a bullshit apology, or not even apology, bullshit excuse.
Yeah, it seemed like a typical like canned PR response almost. It's just like, it's not real.
And then you have Ezio running the fucking Olympic torch all over the place. So what a terrible time to make this announcement.
That's a good point, actually.
Oh, I know.
Because if you're showing, if the opening ceremony was supposed to be like a little highlights of French history,
we went through the French Revolution in it.
Then why the fuck is Ezio parkouring on buildings or whatever? I don't think he was real.
Well, Leonardo da Vinci that you talked to in the game was.
I don't know.
They're going to have you talk to some absolutely legendary figure in this game and then be like, not real. Don't think about it. Somebody's going to take the screen grab of the first time that you talk to like multiple famous like either samurai or shoguns or military leaders or whatever, and then they're going to be like, you said this isn't real, and then they're going to be like, well, they're not, and you're like, I have a picture of him right here. Anyway, shall we?
Yeah.
Microsoft has responded to the Federal Trade Commission's complaints regarding the recent changes to Xbox Game Pass. In a letter shared by The Verge's Tom Warren, Microsoft's legal representatives have argued that the Commission's claims are misleading, just like their Game Pass statements, and a continuation of the agency's attempts to reinvent its case on appeal. Microsoft asserted that Standard offers more than the console-only tier previously did. Standard, it observed, provides users with both a catalog of Game Pass games and multiplayer functionality at $14.99 per month. Game Pass for console previously only offered a catalog of games with multiplayer functionality sold separately for a total of $20.98 per month. Microsoft also criticized the FTC for refocusing its objections against the merger around subscriptions, a factor it said the commission barely mentioned at trial. The FTC's case in all of its alleged markets has always been premised on vertical foreclosure, i.e. that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from rivals and therefore harm competition. But even in the alleged subscription market, Call of Duty is not being withheld from anyone who wants it, and there remains no evidence anywhere of harm to competition. Sony's subscription service continues to thrive even as they put few new games into their subscription day and day, unlike Microsoft. While I agree with the second half parts of your things, your structure, not the pricing, is the bullshit part for me. It's convoluted and confusing. Clean it up.
I think it's a strategy.
Oh, I mean, everything is. It's all smoke and mirrors.
I think they're purposefully trying to make it convoluted and to eventually introduce a slightly more expensive tier that will absorb, that will be like one of only two options and, cash money.
It's it's a greedy ploy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say it seems like an unethical one, but I don't necessarily think it's unethical. It's just scummy.
Yeah.
And confusing, again, like you said.
Number 6, Humble Games is reportedly shutting down. According to former Humble developers, all 36 employees were seemingly laid off without notice on Tuesday and told the company was closing. Humble Games has denied this claim. Humble Games has confirmed whilst it's undergoing restructuring, the company is not shutting down and upcoming releases are not affected. Former Humble staff had disputed the company's statement regarding the restructuring, claiming it underplays the impact of the team or on the team. Operations are said to be moving to a third-party consultancy, the Powell Group, which will handle all remaining games. In a transcript of a meeting with Steve Horwitz, president of Ziff Davis's shopping and technology division, it was suggested affected staff may be offered opportunities elsewhere in Ziff Davis or the Powell Group. And for the record, Humble Games is not Humble Bundle.
Right, which is always that is the
separate.
The game development branch of Humble Bundle.
Yes.
It is also funny to me because every time I hear Ziff Davis, I'm like, that's a jazz band.
It does sound like a jazz band.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
The
see.
Ziff Davis group.
I'm gonna go see Ziff Davis down at the soda fountain.
Ugh.
Play some jacks. I don't know what they were doing anyway. I mean, that sounds rude, but like, I know they had a few games that they were like making, and they were all smaller indie things or whatever.
Yep.
But I can't think of anything off the top of my head where I went that, and I know it's them.
Yeah, I'm having that problem a good amount recently. While like filtering through stories and stuff like that, I'll read about a small developer or something, and it's like a mobile thing or something. And I'm just like, I don't know who the fuck you people are. Like, I don't know who you are.
Who are you people?
And I'm like, should I know who they are?
Right.
You know, like,
And then
out
it's
of
like,
touch.
once you start to see the list of the games, you go, oh, I know this.
And then it's just like, I don't know. It's all the above. I'm out of touch. I don't know what's going on. Joe Biden.
Just throw that in, just out of nowhere. Just
throw it in there,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Joe Biden. Number 7, David Soliani has left Ubisoft after being with the developer for over 2 decades. Ubisoft Milan's creative director shared the news on social media. Quote, after 25 years, 11 of which were beautifully spent working with Nintendo on Mario plus Rabbids, along with the company of our incredible community of players, I have decided to leave Ubisoft to embark on a new adventure. I can't say more now. Thanks a lot for everything. Truly. End quote. Does it not scare you that obviously they were working on it before we knew about it, but Mario plus Rabbids 11 years?
That was 11 years ago.
But it was when they started working on it. So like that's obviously 2 years or so before we know anything about it. But still, like
That's a long time.
Yeah. I remember watching that announcement and going, "What the fuck?"
So like that just is gonna. So like if Star Wars Outlaws comes out and is good,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be good. It could be like average or slightly above average.
Sure.
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Because that means that game was in development for what, 3 years?
Potentially, yeah.
And there's now multiple games at Ubisoft that are
In hell.
that have been in development for over a decade.
Yep.
So the math ain't mathin'.
Soliani joined Ubisoft in 1997 as a game designer, becoming lead game designer and studio manager at Ubisoft Montreal and Milan. He left for a year to work on Kuju's Battalion Wars for Nintendo GameCube.
Nice.
That game is down there somewhere.
All right.
Before returning to Ubisoft Montreal in 2006 for 2 years as lead game designer on Open Season and Avatar. Which one of those do you remember?
None of them.
All right, then. Soliani was appointed creative director at Ubisoft Milan in 2013, where he worked on the Mario plus Rabbids franchise for 11 years.
That's insane. That's so crazy. God.
I think we were watching the E3 when it got announced.
Yeah, I'm sure. We've watched
which would have been like
E3.
which would have been 2015, which would have been us. It was either 2014, 2015.
Stop. You're hurting me right now.
Which would have been prime you and I time.
You're just doing me emotional damage.
The boys were back in town.
Just emotional damage right now. It's like, oh, that point you thought was a couple years ago, that was like a decade ago. Get fucked.
There have been multiple things. Again, we bring this up every time, right? Where we forget track of times. Where I've been like at work and I've been discussing something about like, oh yeah, we did this thing then and whatever, and we're like, wait, when was that? And then we start trying to think back, and I'm like, was that before COVID? 5 years ago? And like just trying to do that, man, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's frightening. It's frightening shit. Number 8, Apex Legends developer Respawn has admitted it could have handled its Battle Pass changes better and says it will improve the overall value and experience across its Battle Pass offerings. Quote, "You've spoken and we've listened," end quote. Respawn said via a statement posted to its social media channels, confirming it will restore the ability to get the pass for in-game currency starting with Season 22, Split 2, on September 17. That means during Split 1, players can unlock the Premium Pass by completing a series of simple in-game challenges. For Split 2, players will again be able to unlock the pass using the in-game currency, Apex coins. Quote, "Moving forward, we recognize that we need to be more timely, transparent, and consistent in our communications with you. Your priorities are our priorities. Cheaters, game stability, and quality of life updates are top of mind. We need to get better, and it's why we're acknowledging them here," end quote.
Now just back it up.
Yeah, does Apex still have like a decent sized
I think so.
player base? Okay.
I think it's you know what? Screw it. I'll speak out of my ass and just run things through the filter. It's I think it's still doing good relative to what it to everything else around it. But I think that unless there's like a new season influx, that it falls off pretty quick after that.
Okay.
Typical with all season games, right? You get a big rush early on, and then everybody kind of goes, eh.
Yeah, and then they dwindle away till the next big thing.
And they either see what it's about or see if they're, if it's a new map or that they've changed how things work or whatever. They haven't broken anything. And then they did the last thing, and I think they probably lost a bunch of people, and that's now where they're like, ooh, no, we screwed up. Sorry. Number 9, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Never knew what that stood for.
Well,
New SAG-AFTRA did not know what it stood for. Has called a strike effective at 12:01 a.m. today, July 26th. Wait, is this the same group that just struck like?
Yes, but no.
Okay.
Yes, it's SAG-AFTRA, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. It's a different contract.
Okay. The strike comes after the SAG-AFTRA National Board unanimously agreed earlier this week to permit its chief negotiator to call an immediate strike at will in a bid to protect voice actors fighting for job security as more and more studios explore generative AI. The convenience bargaining group with whom SAG-AFTRA is negotiating includes Activision, Blindlight, Disney, Electronic Arts, Formosa Interactive, Insomnia, Llama Productions, Take-Two Productions, VoiceWorks Productions, and WB Games. SAG-AFTRA says it was campaigning to offer critical AI protections for members by asking any game looking to employ SAG-AFTRA talent to perform covered work must sign on to the new tiered budget independent interactive media agreement, the interactive media agreement, or the interim interactive localization agreement. However, SAG-AFTRA claims that although agreements have been reached on many issues important to its members, the employers refuse to plainly affirm in clear and enforceable language that they will protect all performers covered by this contract in their AI language. GTA 6 will not be affected by the ongoing strike because the strike only affects games that went into production after 2023. Fucking AI.
Yeah. They said something like all of the bargaining parties agreed to 25 out of the 26 points of contention. The last one is the AI, and
There we go.
they walked away from the table on it. So, yeah, wild. That's a tough one, though. AI, it's a tough one. Number 10, Activision Blizzard has reportedly approved the use of generative AI tools, including Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, for producing concept art and marketing materials. This is according to a recent investigation by Wired, which obtained an internal memo from Activision's then Chief Technology Officer, Michael Vance, that approved the use of these generative AI tools. A former employee claimed the publisher assured its artists that generative AI would be used only for internal concepts, not final game assets, and that AI would not be used to replace them. The Wired report highlighted that, unlike Activision, Blizzard reportedly doesn't allow developers to use publicly available AI generators and is instead developing its own AI tools. The investigation also found that Riot is developing its own in-house generative AI system, with head of tech research Wesley Kerr saying, quote, "We know AI is a complex issue, and we will be transparent with players about our intentions," end quote.
All right.
Yeah,
It's,
interesting.
Fuck them. But like,
I am more curious about the people who are. I'm more curious to see how it works out for the people who are deciding to develop their own AI tools in house. Like, I think that's kind of an interesting idea.
yeah, depends on what the again what the tools and
Yeah, like what that means and
right.
will we ever know?
It's always the we'll be clear with our intentions, and I'm like, you can be clear with your intentions, but what are your practical applications?
Yeah.
And even then, be not explicitly intent, but be exhaustively intent.
Yes. I'm sure they will be
Minimally-
clear with their intentions
To a
as
minimal,
far as we know until they get caught.
yeah, until they get found out doing more. It is time for the rumor roundup. The two Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver games could get remastered in the future, judging from some pictures taken during this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Two statues depicting Kain and Raziel are being shown during the event with a Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered branding. The attached QR code leads to a Dark Horse newsletter sign-up. So, keep your fucking eyes peeled.
Peel my eyes.
I didn't realize San Diego Comic-Con was going on.
I didn't either until I started putting this together.
I realized it because I was scrolling through Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the Mario Yoshi Lego
Kit. Yeah, the Lego kit.
right. And so I saw that, and I went, "Oh, Comic-Con's happening. I wonder what Mondo has for sale," because Mondo does
Oh, shit. Yeah.
exclusive con stuff, some stuff that is available only at the booth. But I now have an image showing up in the fall to replace that.
Oh, sweet. What is it?
It is a poster that is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles poster.
Okay, there's big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing going on. At
Teenage
Comic-Con.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think I don't know if it's a
There's
TV
a
show or a
show.
comic book or something that's coming out.
Maybe they might be redoing the comic book or doing something, but it was their daily thing for today
Okay.
that I got the timed release one that is a colored. That's not good. Never mind, we're good. We're recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the thing that we didn't actually interrupt. That is a colored 36 by 24 horizontal shot of all the characters from TMNT.
Cool.
I'll show you a picture of it after.
Cool.
They have an Iron Giant one.
I'm on their website. I'm looking
Okay.
at see what they have.
And it's because there's the San Diego Comic-Con tab and then there's the posters tab.
I don't know what I'm on right now.
But yeah.
Whatever. Sweet.
Yeah, I always love seeing the exclusive stuff that's there. But yeah, that was what I got. It's the only thing I got because it's the only thing I will get.
Yeah.
New skins, renders, and stages for multiverses have been leaked. Starfield's next update is apparently going to add the land vehicles. Bring it on, Todd Howard. Speaking of land vehicles, the PlayStation 5 Pro, codenamed Trinity, was discovered in No Man's Sky's latest update, along with details on the graphics improvements the game will feature when running on the yet-to-be-announced hardware refresh. Please, Sean, it's okay.
Make a new game.
Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will reportedly be released on Game Pass on August 8th. NVIDIA is not expected to unveil the new Blackwell gaming GPUs before CES 2025. Windows Central has heard a few things about Game Pass, such as Microsoft is working towards a cloud-only version of its subscription that would be cheaper and more approachable to buy than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family Plan experiment is not dead. Microsoft isn't actively working towards an ad-based Xbox Game Pass tier. Microsoft is working towards allowing Xbox gamers to bring many hundreds of games from their own digital libraries into Xbox Cloud Gaming, hopefully by the end of the year, pending negotiations with license holders.
Ooh, boy.
Did you see the one I was talking about?
I did. I saw that. It looks like there was two versions.
There
so
are.
okay.
There's the like green and red hued one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that's at the booth.
Okay.
That's the one I did not get.
Okay.
I got the colored version, which I think I like better anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
sweet.
It'll match. It'll be the third piece of Mondo art in this room. Witcher.
Yep.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That one. Yeah. It'll be
What's nice too is
the fourth piece in the house.
Yeah, Spider-Man. What's nice too is they all have like they're all pretty distinct looking.
They're all very different. They're all very high quality. And as far as I'm concerned, they are art.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, I don't know. I just love them.
Yeah.
They're good. And this whole shit will just go away.
Yeah.
Well, the poster will get rolled up and put in the tube with all the other ones that I don't use anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like these other ones, it will get a correct frame.
Yeah. I found one of my super old posters from when I was a fucking like teenager that apparently I didn't even know I still had it, but we were digging out. I don't remember what we were looking for. We were digging through the attic, and I came across it still in like its poster frame and everything. And it's not even anything exciting. It's a photo, a giant photo of James Dean getting in his Porsche Spider 550.
Oh, okay.
Little bastard. I was like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from?
Well, it's like in the corner there, is it? Yeah, in the corner there is where my main. I think it's my only actual poster tube is.
Mm-hmm.
I have other tubes around, but that's the only one I think has my old posters in it.
Yeah,
and I have I have a few in there that I like that aren't going to end up in like perfect frames, but are ones that it's like if I ever wanted to do something. So the Halo 3 ODST launch one.
Yep, that's classic.
The Halo Reach launch one.
Mm-hmm.
The Modern Warfare 2 cover flip times cover.
Okay, that's cool.
And that one's pretty cool. But that one's a 27 by 40
mm-hmm.
that I think fits in that frame. And I swapped it for that.
Mm-hmm. I do remember,
or it's upstairs because I also have the GTA 5 launch poster.
Yeah, I feel like the GTA 5 poster was somewhere for a while.
It's in my room right now.
I do remember
it might have been down here.
Yeah, I do remember when I remember that poster going in. I don't remember what it replaced.
It might have been that. I might have flipped those two.
It was either it was that or it was like one of the ones you just mentioned. All right, now for the questionable things we didn't write full paragraphs on. There is 23 of them.
Wow, that's a lot of questionable things.
That is. EA Sports College Football 25 sold over 2 million copies of its premium edition, which offered access to the game 3 days ahead of launch and costs $100.
It's in the game.
The game also saw 600,000 people play the game early through subscription service EA Play. I think that's a win for EA, and it disgusts me. Honor of Kings surpassed 50 million downloads in its first month outside of China. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon has hit 3 million sales. Netflix has over 80 games in development and plans to release a new title to subscribers every month from July 2024 onwards. All the games are within the interactive fiction app Netflix Stories, where titles are based on the streaming platform's movies and TV series. Former Epic Games executive Alan Taskin has been appointed president of Netflix Games. Taskin was executive vice president of game development at Epic Games and oversaw development for Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys. Warner Bros. Games has acquired Multiversus developer Player First Games. Player First will remain under the guidance of its co-founders. 3 former Pixelberry devs have banded together to form Candlelight Games, a new studio dedicated to heartfelt, character-centric narrative games. NetherRealm is shutting down mobile game Mortal Kombat Onslaught exactly 1 year after launch. Lightspeed LA has opened a new performance capture facility. The studio was built to support work on The Last Sentinel and will be utilized for other internal projects. Twitch has unbanned Donald Trump's account 3 years after he was permanently banned. Quote, "We believe there is value in hearing from presidential nominees directly when possible." End quote.
They have the best.
Twitch, this grid's the best. I can't do a fucking Donald Trump impression.
It's hard to do it because I can't do the like emptiness.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the best. No, I can't do it. See, I can't.
It's hard. It's hard. It's tough. Capcom is aiming to increase its percentage of female managers to 15%. Capcom said currently 21.2% of its employees are female.
Pretty good number.
It's not bad.
Could be higher.
Yeah, always could be higher.
Technically, that's how numbers work.
Mm-hmm. French publisher Red Art Games has suffered a cyber attack. Customers' data has been compromised during the attack, including first and last names, birth dates, email addresses, shipping addresses, order details, and phone numbers. Red Art Games' portfolio includes Have a Nice Death, Lost Ruins, and Promenade.
I know one of those.
Yeah.
I've heard of the other one.
Dota 2 and League of Legends voice actor Sam Mowry has died age 64. Mowry's credits list for games includes Dota 2, League of Legends, Infamous, and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And he was also a stage actor.
Pretty good list.
The PSVR 2 app is releasing on Steam on August 6th, and the Steam store page has gone live. Roblox reported over 13,000 incidents of child exploitation to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2023, with around 24 predators arrested for grooming and abusing victims on the platform in the U.S.
Roblox, man.
Never understand it.
I understand nothing with that entire thing.
Yep. Epic Games is pulling Fortnite and other games from mobile app stores ahead of the launch of its own digital storefront on ISO and Android.
Makes sense.
The upcoming movie adaptation.
Cheap, that makes sense.
Yeah. The upcoming movie adaptation of BioShock has seen its budget slashed as Netflix focuses on making it a smaller, more personal project. Stalker 2.
So we're only going to play the first third.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of weird. You know what?
Making BioShock a smaller, more personal project?
What
does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I was thinking, like, I feel like it was weird that they would slash its budget, but I mean, a lot of the shit that Netflix does now is like low budget, high return. So
it also depends to me on what they're doing with BioShock. Because if you're doing 1 and 2 and doing the story of that, or at least doing even the precursor story to the city whose name I don't remember, and the whole reason you're underwater and that type of stuff, That's one thing. But if you go to Infinite, now you're into an entire other spiral, which doing a small, low-budget thing is almost like Infinite. It's almost a TV show at that point, not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Stalker 2, the Heart of Chernobyl, has been delayed again.
damn.
And will now be released around 2 months later on November 20th.
That sucks.
Once Human has exceeded 230,000 peak players since release on July 9th.
Whatever, Ronkin. Not great, not terrible.
Okay. Ubisoft CEO has revealed that the firm has been putting more money and effort than ever into the marketing of Star Wars Outlaws.
I believe that. It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And terrifying that it is.
Either...
Could have put that money into a Division game.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they think it's going to be a big one.
They're just going to follow it up by doubling that budget for fucking Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, God. Sony's Concord is receiving an official PS5 DualSense controller on August 23rd.
Why?
The controller is available exclusively via PlayStation Direct.
This is why companies should reinvest in the faceplates idea.
Yeah. Riot has announced that Valorant has launched on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S in open beta form. And finally, there was a couple San Diego Comic-Con trailers. We did not watch them.
We did not, and I'm hoping you bring up the two I have my fingers crossed for.
Rings of Power Season 2,
Nope,
August
not
29th.
one of them.
Okay.
But I am interested to see how fucked that gets.
Okay.
Because the ending of Season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of went, okay, we're going to wrap this up real quick, and by the way, he's here.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He is definitely in Season 2.
well, yeah, obviously. I assume they find him within the first 30 minutes.
Based on the trailer, he is all throughout Season 2.
Yeah.
But also they are going to actually spend time with I'm assuming that was Gandalf.
Maybe.
I don't know, whoever the wizard was.
Yeah.
And they go off into the eastern lands or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They might do a we're not going to deal with that right now type of thing.
Now it's like there's cuts to it and stuff. It's kind of weird. Let me guess the two that you're thinking of.
Okay.
Rooster Fighter.
Nope.
Okay.
What is that?
I had wanted to show that to you. I don't think it'll be anything you're necessarily interested in.
Is it cockfighting?
It's an anime.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a fever dream anime.
So anime.
Yep. I don't know. The only other one I know of is like Transformer 1.
There's a Gundam trailer.
Yeah, I have that on my list. Requiem of Vengeance.
Yep. Did you watch that?
Yes.
Interesting.
Did you watch it?
I watched it and it went, I don't get it. It looks weird. Like visually it looks weird.
You want to know why? Unreal 5.
That makes a lot of sense. I actually think, now that you say that, I think it says that in the beginning of the trailer and I just didn't pay attention to it.
Mobile suits looks great. People look fucking awful.
Agreed. Also, even with the mobile suits, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's the why are they looking at a Gundam and going, what's that?
It's the White Devil, bro.
Yeah, I know, but like El Diablo can just.
So the whole concept.
Why is Tequila Gundam there? You know, why isn't this G Gundam?
Requiem of Vengeance is the Universal Century timeline, so it's the original Gundam timeline.
Here we go, fucking Gundam nerd.
It takes place during the 1 year war, and basically what it is it's the foot soldiers' perspective of when Gundam shows up. So when Gundam shows up, it's like it's a new super weapon, basically. And so they're showing it from the foot soldiers' perspective of like, what is this crazy machine that's just we can't fight and it's scary. I'm hoping it's good. I do not have much faith in based on the people. So the three that I had listed was Rings of Power, Gundam Requiem of Vengeance, and Rooster Fighter.
And the trailer for the live-action Like a Dragon show coming in October 24th.
I did not see that one. I didn't know that one was out.
Coming October 24th to Amazon Prime.
Interesting. We'll have to watch that one.
Yeah.
That was it. That's everything I got.
Cool. Well, in that case, it's been 7 days. What you been up to?
Not much. It's been a crazy week. A really hectic week at work, so that sucks. Not a whole lot. Little any downtime we had, we did a little car shopping, perusing, because Samantha's lease is up.
I was debating car shopping soon, but more perusing.
Yeah,
I don't really want to buy a car right now, but it's just what's going on over there?
I
think I would
wait.
just get I think I want to wait, but I think I would also just get like a very similar to something I have anyway. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would.
Honestly,
I'm not drastically changing anything.
So, a coworker got a new Hyundai Elantra.
Okay, yeah.
Very cheap, very nice. It's kind of wild. Like that's kind of the thing with cars are so crazy nowadays. Like I will sit in like a cheap, I'm gonna do air quotes here, cheap, like sedan, like a Hyundai sedan or something, a Kia sedan or you know, a
Honda.
base model Civic or whatever,
Nissan,
and you know, not most people, some people would like scoff at those, be like, gross. They're fucking nice, dude. Like they're wicked nice. And then I look at like, so the stuff that like Samantha's looking at, like the SUVs, they're like,
the moment you step to SUV and like anything quote towable,
it's not even towable.
But I just feel like the moment you step to that size, right?
Mm-hmm.
They immediately go plus 20,000, and
yes,
we're stripping out basic features.
Well, the ones that we're looking at,
what I would call in quotes basic features.
Yeah, so we're looking at like, you know, your cliche family crossover SUV.
Sure.
So like your Kia Sorentos, your VW Tiguan's, and your Atlases.
What used to be a Ford Explorer.
Yep, your Nissan Rogues. They are all luxury vehicles.
Basically, yeah.
Like straight up luxury vehicles.
Yeah.
We looked at a Kia Sorento. Like I'm still of the mindset that should be like an approachable vehicle.
Yeah. I would say ballpark base model Kia Sorento I would have put probably around in a new year, if I'm being generous, 32,000.
We looked at a mid trim level, X line, I think it was. So
okay,
like there's a higher trim level than that. At least one higher trim level that I know of, but I'm not familiar with the new vehicles. Kia Sorento, mid trim level, $46,000.
Like absolutely not.
But then I looked inside and it's like all quilted leather seats. Like it's like they're fucking decked to the nines.
They're bouged.
And I'm like,
they're bouged.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then out of curiosity, like we basically went down Commercial Drive.
Yeah.
And we did all the dealerships on the right side.
Okay.
That are right side.
Yeah.
And it was,
well, you say your right side, it's the same right side.
Well, like
your right and my right are the same.
Yeah, I know, but like depending on which side of the road you're on, you know what I mean? Like
you're either going towards Walmart or away from it.
Yeah, so we were going away from Walmart.
Oh, that is different.
Yes, and we did just all the dealerships that were on our right.
Okay, yeah.
So we did VW, we did Kia.
Yep.
We did Ford, Lincoln.
Is there not
and
a
Subaru?
Nissan?
Did Subaru.
Is the Nissan one on
It's
that
on
side?
the other side.
Oh, okay. That's where like Mazda and whatever
Yep.
is. Yeah.
So we went into the Ford dealership last because I was like, I don't know. First off, Ford does not have anything that's like their vehicle sizes are fucked because they have the Ford Escape, which is tiny.
Yeah.
And then they go straight up to the Ford Explorer.
Yeah, which is bigger than it used to be.
Then it's fucking huge.
Yeah, because before you went from Explorer to Expedition.
Yeah.
and I think they canned Expedition.
Yeah, Expedition's not a thing anymore.
And then
I
they
don't think.
moved the Explorer up.
Yeah, so there's a giant gap.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming their thinking is, Bronco Sport.
Right. Yeah, they want to put you into a Bronco.
Yeah, but even then it's like that's so anyways, long story short, they had the Fords lined up.
Or into that EV Mustang.
Yeah. They had the Ford lined up.
Have you thought about that one?
And we didn't even look at them. Like I was just like, I mean, you can go look if you want, but they're too big. Like
you go up to Don's too. They're gonna have a wider. So I mean, it's gonna be the same stuff. But they're gonna have a wider thing than that Lincoln one does.
So, and I was like, if you wanted a Bronco, like they're cool. We could look at those. But we're just out of shits and giggles. I'm like, let's go look at the Lincoln. So we looked at the Lincoln.
Imagine what a Bronco fucking costs. Probably $55.
That's the thing, though. It's like when a Kia Sorento is $46,000. All right, the Bronco is now in that realm. So like, go look at a Bronco, I guess.
Right? Yeah. If that's just the realm.
If you want some like cool car, but obviously we looked at the Lincolns, dude, and we looked at the Nautilus or whatever, Corsair. Corsair, I think, is the smaller one. Doesn't matter.
The only one I could tell you was a Navigator, and that's all I know.
So we looked at the smaller Lincoln that would probably
Denali.
be in the same category as like her CX-5.
Okay, yeah.
$62,000.
Jesus, you buy a truck.
Yeah, I was.
Well, even then, actually, no.
It's disgusting. So that was an interesting, eye-opening experience to look.
Yeah.
But we kind of already made the decision that like if we're gonna it's either we're gonna lease something and lease again and do new as you do when you lease,
right?
Or buy used and do like whatever.
Yeah, because I would say even then, if you stepped into a 23 or a 22 or next year the 24s of some of those SUVs, you'd up to potentially save $10,000 immediately.
Yeah, but it's just a wild world out there.
Yeah,
it is crazy the price difference though, because like if you're willing to get a sedan, which unfortunately Smith is not willing to get a sedan, which is sad. You get so much more for your money, so much more, and they're just cheaper in general as well. And I made the joke. I was like, "Why don't you take the truck and I'll get an Elantra N or something like that?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it would still
go immediately back to you having the BMW, but the thing that we specifically discussed getting that wasn't the BMW.
Yeah. Because it'd be the same price. Like I'm like, I'll take it. It's a family car. I can put a fucking car seat in the back.
That's true.
Let's go.
And you can sprint with it if you really need to.
There's so many in Utica of those.
I
so many.
Fucking still hate their tails so much.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Anyways, what have you been up to?
Tails are so disgusting. Not much. Playing the new pre-patches out.
Anything?
So everything's completely fucking broken.
I did see some of your tweets earlier in the week. That were
I don't know. Was I retweeting things or was I?
I think there were retweets of like.
I might have tweeted a few things because the server maintenance took a day.
What was
7 a.m. Pacific time till.
It was something about warrior healing, I think, or it was something about healing or something. I think warrior self heals.
Maybe I might have been
balancing issues or something.
I think I was talking with somebody that was because they made a whole post. And this is a while ago now, maybe like probably before last podcast that I was discussing with in quote retweets from people that were talking about they made tank changes about healing of things or about specifically how tanks took damage and how healing them would interact, and I had a thing there, but that's too convoluted to get into at this point. But then pre-patch came out and everything's a complete clusterfuck. Balancing is all over the place. It's pre-patch, so we don't really care. We need everything to be ready for when the launch actually happens. But there's also just things that pre-patch launched and broke certain bosses that just do not function anymore, or do not function anywhere near where they're supposed to. But warbands got put in. So maintenance took from 7 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm going to do this in Eastern time because I don't know when it ended technically. But so 10 a.m. Eastern, servers go offline.
Yep.
They don't come back on. I think I went to bed at midnight and they weren't back yet. So we're down that entire time still trying to make things work to do the patches and whatever. And that's war bands because of how they had,
It's a lot.
All this spaghetti code of 20 years that they have to try to tie together now to
Yeah.
make things work.
It's kind of amazing that they can change as much as they do.
Without just
Yeah.
attempting to have a team on the side rebuilding it in an entirely other engine and attempting to do like one-to-one transfers of things.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure alone would be a 5-year undertaking, but it'd be ridiculous. And that took all that time. Then there's a boss in Brackenhide Hollow called Treemouth, who we were doing some dungeons just like testing out new talent builds and stuff because of how things changed, and Boomkin feels absolute dog shit. But I can make it do a lot of damage, but I'm like, it fucking feels bad. And we get to the boss, we go and kill the boss dies in like 20 seconds, and we're like, what the fuck just happened? That shouldn't have died. And then we did it again, and we watched the health bar, and it, like, whatever it is, 55%, or if it's timing, I don't remember. He does this thing where he puts vines on everybody and drags them towards him, and then he eats, it's supposed to be like the tank, he eats the tank, and that gives him a shield, and then you break the shield, he spits the tank out, and you keep going. There's a couple other mechanics, but it doesn't really matter. So, this happens, they drag in, eat the tank, he goes from having 55% health to having 0.2% the moment the shield goes up. So you do a couple things, the shield breaks, and immediately he's dead, and we're like, well, that's not right. Whatever. Moving on. So there's a few things that just are wrong.
Like a number got mixed up somewhere.
Something, but yeah, it's in a goofy, janky pre-patch state, and it's kind of terrifying staring at the war within a month. To be like, can you guys fix this?
Yeah.
I think that it is possible to do, but I do not think it is easy, and I think it requires a lot of go time. And they announced the schedule for things to be like opened. So like the 22nd is pre-orders that go live. 26th the game goes live. The 10th of September, Heroic goes live along with M0s. And then the 17th is when the Mythic raid comes out. So that's when the Race to World first starts. That's also when Mythic Plus opens. So from the 22nd till the 17th, I'm basically just leveling characters. Because my thing is the 17th.
Yeah.
So again, that kind of feels bad. It's essentially a month of doing nothing. But it's it sucks for me. But at the same time, it also means I can just chill.
Yeah, like relax a little bit.
A little bit. Like I could probably, for the most part, get a character to, air quotes here, done and waiting for that week and not really need to play them, and then go play another, except for like maybe dailies for Renown or something, and then go get another one and bring that one up to that same point. Like I could have a few roles ready to go. So when me and the boys get in there and start doing our thing, we got multiple people to take care of things.
Yeah.
My typical over-preparedness for no reason.
Yeah.
Over-preparedness while still having a job. So yeah, that's really it.
Nice.
All right, cool. In that case, we'll see you all in 7 days. Toodaloo, bye-bye.